Yeah, I think there's just a lot to look into, especially since it was 45 pages of documents. And both the acting U.S. attorney there, he was saying that, these are serious allegations and everything has been investigated. And they say they would not be to this point if they did not believe that everything in those documents was accurate. Now, one of the things I want to go into a little bit is the obtaining of information that's not public knowledge. I'm actually joined here by attorney Justin Schmidt. And Justin, one of your cases involves the mayor and also Ann Bro, and kind of go into that detail.
Yeah, so you may recall after last year, after the mayor filed her specious lawsuit against Ann Bro, seeking a protective order for stalking, after that was dismissed, Ann filed a 1983 action, basically a federal lawsuit under civil rights violations against the city, several police officers, the mayor, her assistant Clifton Davis, and then probably some defendants that we didn't know at the time could be possible defendants. As that's evolved over the past year, we've learned more through very limited, not even discovery, but some initial disclosures that are due in federal cases. And so, in light of that, we've amended the petition to release the named police officers, but there still was some question as to how the mayor got this information before she filed it, and so that was still being a big question.
And we're talking about the Social Security number.
Exactly, the information about the previous domestic violence, what she cites in her petition for protection as all the reasons why she needed a stalking order. Basically, we've learned that this was a fabricated, event or a series of events to bolster this petition for protection, and now we know, or at least we see from the indictment, that the federal government agrees that it appears that she conspired with VAPI to use these things as either intimidation or reason to continue to hide the affair that was going on.
And some would say the picture that Ann Bro took from her balcony of both VAPI and the mayor dining at the Tableau apartment kind of started this entire federal investigation by the feds.
Well, and I think that's what's interesting about it, and we say it in our pleadings, is that that picture took place on April 7th, 2024. The mayor didn't file her suit until May 10th, so basically 32 days later. What I suspect happened was she started to get, there was another picture that surfaced at the time, and I think she, and then VAPI was shortly thereafter indicted, and I think the writing became clear on the wall after that picture that something, the federal authorities were looking into her, and that she needed to try to control the situation as best she could, and she tried to do it through this really false petition for a protective order that ended up, being dismissed in its entirety, and Ann Bro being awarded her attorney's fees.
And you guys aren't done yet. I know that you're going to probably be including this because we just talked about that. But I do appreciate your time and talk on this, just because this is an ongoing thing. And, earlier the active U.S. attorney, he did mention that this is an investigation that's going to keep on going. And here's some of the stuff he had to say at that press conference.
Mayor Cantrell and Mr. VAPI perpetuated their scheme both in the New Orleans area and during out-of-state trips. In both instances, VAPI's activities, while claiming to be on duty, were conspicuously different than any other member of the Executive Protection Unit. While in New Orleans, Cantrell and VAPI treated a city-owned apartment in the Pentaba building as their own personal shared residence and coordinated to spend time together there, engaging in personal activities, all while VAPI claimed to be on duty for the Executive Protection Unit and was being paid to do his actual job.
Now, this is still a developing story, and as soon as we get more information on these charges, because, guys, we're still going through everything, trying to cross-check everything like that, but we're going to keep you guys updated here on air and online at WDSU.com. Reporting here from Federal Court, I'm Cassie Sherm. Back to you.